On what should have been her happiest day, terror struck. Gunshots shattered the air. Blood stained the ground. Kafora, the ruthless son of a cruel tribal leader, stormed into her wedding, leaving nothing but death and destruction behind. Her father and brother lay lifeless before her eyes. She was dragged away, stolen from everything she loved. Trapped in darkness, Nira refused to break. She vowed to escape, to fight back. But revenge was not easy. Betrayal lurked in the shadows, and Kafora would do anything to keep her under his rule. Nira lived in a small African village with her family. The village was peaceful, with green fields, tall trees, and the sound of birds in the morning. People lived close to each other, helping one another like one big family. Her father, Connie, was a hardworking farmer. He worked from sunrise to sunset, planting crops and taking care of the land. But inside his heart, there was pain. Many years ago, he saw something terrible. Jelani, a cruel and powerful tribal leader, had killed Connie's father. He wanted to fight back, but he knew it would only bring more pain. Instead of revenge, he chose forgiveness. He made peace with Jelani's son, Kafora, because he wanted the village to live in harmony. Nira was the light of her family. People in the village said she was the most beautiful girl. But beauty was not enough to protect her from fate. When she was a child, Connie arranged her engagement to a relative. This was common in the village. It helped families stay close. But deep inside, Connie worried about the future. He knew peace with Jelani's family might not last. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, Connie sat with his wife, Zola. His face was serious. "We must leave this village," he said. "I don't trust Jelani and Kafora. One day, they will bring us pain. I must protect Nira and our family." The next morning, before the village woke up, they left. Nira walked behind her father, looking back one last time. She did not know that her past would one day come looking for her. The sun hung high, casting long shadows over Kama's farm. His land, his pride, had been nurtured by generations. Each grain of soil bore the weight of his toil. Then came the hoofbeats. Jelani, the ruthless ruler, arrived with his men. His dark robes billowed like a storm cloud, his cold eyes scanning the fields. "This land is mine now," he declared. Kama stood firm. "I have worked for this land. I will not give it away." Jelani smirked. With a flick of his wrist, his men stormed the hut, overturning pots, tearing apart furniture. A triumphant shout, "Papers found." Jelani held them up, eyes darkening. "You dare defy me?" Kama was seized, forced to his knees. "Hold out his hand," Jelani ordered. Kama struggled, but rough hands pinned him down. The blade gleamed in the sun. "No, please." Steel met flesh. A scream rang through the village as blood spattered the dry earth. Jelani pressed Kama's severed thumb to the deed. "This land is mine." As flames consumed the farm, Jelani rode away, leaving only ashes, and a man who had lost more than land. Years later, Connie could not forget the village. He felt the weight of old memories pressing on his heart. He missed his home, the fields where he walked, the friends he left behind. One day, he told his family, "I must go back. I must make peace." His wife, Zola, was afraid. "What if Jelani still hates you?" she asked. "I must try," Connie said. So, he returned to the village. He walked through the streets, seeing familiar faces, but everyone looked sad and tired. Fear hung in the air. Finally, he stood in front of Jelani's home. He took a deep breath and stepped inside. Jelani sat on his large wooden chair. His eyes were cold, but his lips curled into a smile. "Connie," he said, "why have you come back?" "I want to leave the past behind," Connie said. "For the sake of our families and the village, we need peace." Jelani nodded. Yes, you are right, he said smoothly. But deep in his heart, he had other plans. That evening, Jelani and Kafora visited Connie's home. They ate and drank together, but Kafora had something else on his mind. He looked at Nira and smiled. She is beautiful, he whispered to his father. I want her. Jelani smiled back. Then take her. Later that night, Kafora spoke to Nira. You are unlike any girl here, he said, trying to charm her. But Nira looked at him with steady eyes. I follow my father's wishes, not yours, she said firmly. Something in her voice made Kafora angry. He decided then, he would take Nira, no matter what. The day of Nira's wedding arrived. The village was full of music and dancing. Women carried colorful fabrics, and men played drums. Nira sat in a beautiful bridal gown, but her heart was heavy. Suddenly, loud footsteps stopped the music. Jelani, Kafora, and their guard stormed in. Jelani fired a gun into the air. This wedding will happen on our terms, he shouted. The villagers froze in fear. Before anyone could move, Kafora's young son, just a boy, raised a gun and shot Connie. The bullet hit his stomach. He gasped and fell. Nira, run, he whispered, blood spilling from his mouth. But before she could move, Kafora pulled out his gun and shot her brother, Femi, in the head. Nira screamed. She dropped to her knees beside her father and brother, holding their hands. Tears ran down her face, her heart breaking. Kafora grabbed her arm. You are coming with me, he growled. The villagers watched, too afraid to stop him. And just like that, Nira's life changed forever. Nira woke with a throbbing body and burning eyes. The room was dark, cold, and smelled of damp earth. Iron bars covered the only small window. The last thing she remembered, her father's blood-stained body. A shiver ran through her. Femi was dead. Connie was gone. Her family was broken. Footsteps echoed. The door creaked open. Kafora entered, lantern in hand, eyes gleaming with victory. Nira, he said smoothly. This is your new home. You killed my father, she whispered. Kafora sighed. He was in my way. But you can have a good life with me. I will never marry you. His smile didn't fade. Hatred fades over time. Nira looked away. His voice hardened. You have no choice. He turned and locked the door behind him. Nira sat in the darkness, heart pounding. No. This will not be my fate. She crawled to the window. The iron bars were old and rusty. She ran her fingers along the edges and took a deep breath. This is my only chance. That night, when the guard's footsteps faded outside, Nira got to work. She picked up a small, loose stone from the floor and started scratching at the screws on the iron bars. It was slow. Her fingers ached, and her nails cracked, but she didn't stop. Every time she heard footsteps outside, she froze, holding her breath. By the time the night was almost over, the screws were loose. With a deep breath, she pushed hard. The bar moved slightly. She pushed again. Harder. Finally, the bar broke free. Her heart raced as she squeezed through the narrow space, her dress tearing at the edges. She landed on the ground outside, her hands scraping against the dirt. The night was dark, but she could hear the village sounds far away. She ran. Her bare feet hit the ground as she moved through the trees. Her breath came in quick gasps. Run, Nira. Run. Behind her, a guard shouted. Someone's escaping. The village lit up. Torches flickered. Pushing past branches, her heart slamming in her chest. She could hear them behind her, searching. She hid behind a large tree, pressing her hand over her mouth to silence her breathing. The guards ran past. She didn't move. She didn't breathe. When the voices faded into the distance, she ran again. She ran until the trees blurred, until the night swallowed her completely. She had escaped. But where would she go? For days, Nira wandered the forest, surviving on wild fruits and stream water. Weak but unbroken, she reached a distant village where kind strangers offered food and shelter. One night, the village chief visited her. His eyes were wise. "Kafora is searching for you," he said. "His men are everywhere." Nira's stomach tightened. "I'm not safe here." The chief nodded. "But there's hope. A secret group fights against Jeloni's rule." "A group?" Nira's eyes widened. "They resist men like Kafora. If you join them, you can fight back." For too long, she had only run. Now, she had a choice. "Take me to them." That night, Nira met the rebels. They trained her how to fight, how to survive. Her pain became strength, her grief, fire. Soon, they planned an attack on Kafora's fortress. Nira stood at the front. For the first time, she wasn't running. She was fighting. The night was silent as the rebels moved through the shadows. Nira gripped a small knife her father had given her. They reached the fortress. A rebel signaled. Boom! An explosion shattered the gates. The rebels stormed inside. Guards fought back, but they were outnumbered. Swords clashed. Arrows flew. Through the chaos, Nira saw him, Kafora, standing on the steps, watching with fury. She stepped forward. He laughed. "You think you can defeat me?" She said nothing. Kafora drew his sword. "Come, then." Nira took a deep breath. "For my father. For my brother. For my people." She lunged. Their blades met, sparks flew. Kafora was strong, but Nira was faster. She dodged, rode, struck. Then, an opening. Her knife plunged into his side. Kafora gasped, stumbling. Nira stood over him. "I could kill you," she said softly. Fear flickered in his eyes. "But I won't." The rebels took him prisoner. Jeloni's reign ended that night. As dawn broke, Nira stood on a hill, free at last. But was revenge enough? She didn't know. But for the first time, she could choose her own path.